Welcome back to What Arty Noobs for General Disturbance. This is the M12. It's the Tier 7 American SPG. It's located on the southwest spawn of Karelia, and it's under the command of Guppy1974. And the only bit of equipment we can see is a camo net. I'm afraid, yes, that's all we can see. We've also got no sound, and despite the fact that I've tried restarting this replay about 24 times, we just can't get any sound to appear. So we'll have to replay the replay without sound, as much as that is annoying, but that's all we can do. Okay, the M3 is the M12 rather, is basically an M3 hull with a French howitzer mounted on top of it. The French howitzer is from World War I. It's original design, and it was actually quite an effective piece of equipment, very accurate. That's why the Americans used it. It was a bit of a stopgap, actually, because they didn't really have any of artillery or SPGs of their own, so they decided to use the M3 hull, and he's fired his first round in, it falls short. So they decided to use the only hull they had at the time that was working, which was the M3, and stick the French artillery on it to make it work. It's a 155mm shell, which is capable of doing 600 alpha, 39mm of pen, 7.2 meters on the burst radius, between 11.5 and 23 seconds of stun. He fires his round in there. Oh, we didn't get to see what happened to that shell, but he did get some stun assist off the T-34, so at least that's helpful. You can see it's a Tier 8 game with Tier 7 tanks in it. In fact, yep, Tier 7s. We've already lost 2 tanks. It's a difficult shot there, trying to fire up onto that corner of the horseshoe, but he fires at the Brask, and it runs short, but he did get some stun, and he is getting stun assist, so it's obviously worthwhile in that sense. In fact, he's got so much stun assist, he's actually got the communications expert working, and that gives him 2.5% extra on the crew skills for the rest of the battle. The Brask is no more, so we've recovered our losses and some. Now, they only made 100 of the M12. They made 60 from September 1942 onwards, and in 1943 they built another 40. Only 74 of them were actually sent overseas. The rest were kept in the United States for training purposes. There is still one available at the Artillery Museum, and that's in Fort Sill, Oklahoma. And it's apparently got the nickname Adolf's Assassin on the side. It's in the museum itself, so you can go and watch it and look at it. I'm not sure if you're allowed to touch it, but I think most people would want to have a look over it. Now, they actually built this vehicle, and they built another one as well that would actually carry all the shells, because there wasn't a huge amount of room to put the shells in. The other vehicle was called the M30, and that was the cargo carrier. That didn't have the howitzer, but it did carry enough space for all of the shells and the charges that they would then use. Almost loaded. We've lost a teammate down there. In fact, we're about to lose our Type 57, I think. We fired that one in a bit short, and I think that was designed to stun, and, well, we got the stun assist because the Skoda went down. So 1,519 stun assist, but no actual damage recorded so far. It's a Guppy saying, the player, Guppy1974, he's saying, come play what, they said. It's fun, they said. Well, this time round, he did get some damage off that one, and it's 193 hit points. Yes, Guppy knows about our channel and sent this replay in, and yes, I very much wanted to actually show it, because it's always nice to get a new player who sees our channel and sends a replay in just to see, what can we do with it. And that was a direct hit and kill. He wiped out the Challenger with a blind shot. He aimed the shot ahead of his path and he just walked straight into it and died. In fact, it looks to me like the Challenger died a little way away from where it was hit, so I think he set fire to it, and he might actually have an arsonist medal as well. He's doing the same again, but this time round he doesn't get a kill out of it. Look at that enemy Challenger there. So the enemy have more than one Challenger, and this one is very low on hit points and he's trying to run away. The standard reload is 26.56, that's by the book, and I think Guppy has got a reload of 22.69. There you go. And he goes for the Challenger. Oh, he's got another one! Another Challenger dies. If only he can get the third one, that'd be quite nice. He'd have a treble then. A hat trick of Challengers. Well, instead he's going to go for this Carnarvon. He's almost loaded and he's fully dialed in. Rounds out. Lands right next door to him, but he gets the stun, and he gets the stun assist. And that's important because he's generated a massive amount of stun assist. And the more stun assist you actually get, the more chance you've got of getting an ace tanker. Well, he's almost loaded there, and I think that Challenger's about to die. Yes, our Super Hellcat got him. So we're going for the FV4202. Unfortunately, the guy's hiding behind the rock, so he obviously knows how to avoid being hit by Arty shells. This is back at the enemy camp area. Got a Tiger P here, who may have been an AFK, and that's why he might have actually not deployed. There's only 2 left on the enemy team. He fires the round in. A long flight time, and the shell turns to the right. They've just lost their LT432, or rather, we lost our LT432, rather. That FV4202 actually got the kill, but they've just lost their 4202. And although he's not showing where he actually is, no, because I think they actually had, he was a bit further away. So we're firing blind in, and there's the Tiger P. He moved away from that spot, and he's about to meet our AMX 1357, who will start punching holes in him. Now, if we can get some stun in there. Our teammates are moving in. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second, and rounds out. It's going to take a little while for the shell to get there, but it does get there, and he gets some stun, and the kill shot goes in, and it goes to the Bisonte. And that's it. Game over. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was the first ace tanker for Guppy1974 in the M12. Congratulations, you've broken your duck. That was the first ace you've ever had, and we can tell that because it's got the scrolls underneath the M. You only get that once. And he also got a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits in that game. He managed to get, is that 6 or an 8? My eyesight is terrible at the moment. 8. Yes, sorry. And his win rate was very low, 1,137, but that's mainly down to the fact he didn't do a whole lot of damage, but he did get a lot of stun. If we look at the team score, we can see how much damage he did earn. Well, it was only 845 hit points, which way down the table. The top scorer in this game was the Bisonte, who got the final kill. He got 3,201 hit points of damage. Second highest was the Skoda T56, who managed 2,076. And the third highest was the T28 on the enemy team, who got 1,665. When it came to kills, though, we can see top scorer was the Bisonte, who managed to get 5 kills in that one. 3 kills went to the Scorpion, and then 2 kills went to the AMX 1357, to Guppy, and also to the FV4202 on the enemy team. And when it came to base XP, he's in third place because the top scorer was the Bisonte again with 1,298. Second was the AMX 1357 with 1,183. And in third place, Guppy got 1,117. Yes, a lot of stun assists in that game. And so he was one of the top 3 players who managed to make it over 1,000 base and won the game for them. He fired only 15 rounds. You only get 20 rounds of ammo with this Arty. Very small number of shells, even though it actually had a cargo carrier. As I said, they were carrying all the spare rounds. They actually carried 40 rounds of ammunition. And technically speaking, they ought to include 40 rounds on the M12, because of course what happened is that the M12s would work with the M30 cargo carriers, and they worked and they served in pairs, so they always had another vehicle there carrying the ammunition for them. He got 3 direct hits on 1 penetrating shot and 11 splash. Now, I suspect that that penetrating shot was one of the challengers. No, it wasn't that one. It was that one. That was the blind hill, I think. 335 hit points of damage. And yes, that took him out of the game. He didn't get the arsonist, so he actually just killed him while he was on the move. And that's why he suddenly appeared some distance from where the impact point was. So going back to the detail again, we can see he got 11 splashes as well, 845 hit points of damage, all of it at more than 300 meters. A lot of the time, I think he was trying to stun the enemy rather than actually do damage to them, because he wanted the stun assist. He got 6 enemy vehicles damaged, 2 were killed, and he got 2,314 hit points of stun assist of 10 stuns, and that's where his ace tanker was. He actually earned 24,384 credits on a premium count, and he took away 3,351 experience points out of the game. So very good game, a first ace in the M12. And now it gets interesting, of course, because he's going to move on up and eventually get to the M40, then the M53, M55, and finally to that T92 HMC at the end. But if he's getting good with the M12 and he's got his first ace, he won't be far off getting other rewards for it. So, because the M12 is one of those reliable Artys, I find it is. Anyway, I've got 3 marks on one of mine. So I hope you enjoyed that replay. If you did, please give this video a like, and thank you for watching.